Welcome to this episode of Chattin with Staxx. I'm your host, Bill Staxx, and today we're going to talk about Thomas Eboli. What's good, everybody? I hope everyone had a good, safe holiday, 4th of July. What's good, Louis the Lion? How you doing? Shout out to everybody out there that takes the time to watch my show. Before we get started, make sure you guys hit the like, subscribe, and notification bell so you can get my videos every time they drop. So, before we get started with this show, I want to say rest in peace to Robert De Niro's grandson. He was found as a suspected overdose, and it's a pretty sad situation. I have a picture right here. This is Robert De Niro yesterday walking into his home, and reporters are trying to get comments from him. They probably should leave him alone, considering his grandson just passed away. Here's a picture of his grandson. His name was Leonardo De Niro. And a really sad situation. How are you, Cindy? So Leonardo De Niro, possible cause of death. The 19-year-old grandson of Robert De Niro has been revealed just days after his passing was announced publicly. The news came to light regarding the actor after an Instagram publication that his mother, Drina De Niro, despite being so young, Leonardo De Niro was an established actor appearing in films such as Cabaret and A Star is Born. I didn't know he was in that movie. It says the premature death that has moved a lot of people, above all because was unknown. However, TMZ published that the actor could have died to a possible overdose, saying law enforcement sources say Leonardo's death is being investigated as an overdose. The teen, who was house sitting in both drugs and drug paraphernalia, was found near his body. An overdose is not the only possible explanation. The media outlets say that they're still investigating. It is still ongoing, and these substances may not be provoked the death of the young man who was found by a friend who hadn't heard from him in a few days and was checking on him. So they hadn't heard from him, and they went to check on him, and they found him. On the other hand, an overdose is not the only thing being talked about. Leonardo, that he died after taking something mixed with fentanyl, writing to a person who sold Leo the fentanyl-laced drugs that took him away from us. I hope every day you think of me and my family, you killed us all. In a publication that was then changed to a lot of broken heart emojis, as well as crying face, dove, and praying hands. Really sad situation. But in other news, shit. There was another mass shooting in Louisiana this time. Leaves 4 dead and 7 injured at a block party. In Louisiana, police in Louisiana are investigating a mass shooting that left 4 people dead and 7 injured during an annual 4th of July block party in Shreveport. The police said 11 people were shot. 4 of them died after early morning Wednesday. Shooting in the city's MLK neighborhood. More than 200 people were attending this event. Of the injured, 1 critical, police said. 1 was in critical condition. 6 other victims were expected to recover. It's getting out of control out there. It seems every day there's something new. There's another, there's like constant shootings, constantly. It says Smallville actor Allison Mack, who trafficked girls, was released from prison. That's wild. Allison Mack has been released from prison. The Smallville star is serving her role in a trafficking case tied to that group, that the cult style group that brands the women. In 2021, the 40-year-old Mack was sentenced to 3 years in prison after pleading guilty to manipulating women and becoming slaves for Richard Ramirez. Ranieri? According to the Federal Bureau of Prisons, records show that Mack was released from prison in California on Monday. So let's get into Thomas Eboli. He was the boss. It doesn't say if the shooter was caught for Louisiana. It does not say. So, Thomas Ryan Eboli. This dude has ties all the way back to Lucky Luciano. So this is him at Lucky Luciano's funeral. And he was the boss of the Genovese crime family. He was the acting boss. And I have someone. Hold on, I'm trying to find something. All right, I put this together, so enjoy.
Ian, Eboli, B. June 13, 1911 to July 16, 1972, was a New York City mobster, known for being the acting boss of the Genovese crime family. Early life in prison. Born Tommaso Eboli, little is known about his early life other than that he was born in Eboli, Italy on June 13, 1911. Eboli was reportedly arrested in 1933 for 6 counts of illegal gambling and disorderly conduct. During his entire criminal career, Eboli only spent 60 days in prison for assaulting a boxing referee. The referee, Ray Miller, made what Eboli considered was a bad call, giving Ernie Durando a victory over Rocky Castellani, Eboli's fighter. Eboli's subsequent outburst caused him to be banned from boxing activities. The Lucchese crime family boss Thomas Gagliano was the cousin of mob Eboli's chauffeur and bodyguard Dominic Alonghi, who would later achieve notoriety when Gagliano, Eboli and Alonghi were among the many mobsters arrested by the FBI and police fleeing the famous 1957 Appalachian meeting. He is the father of Genovese crime family mobster Thomas Eboli Jr. He is the father of Chicago outfit mobster Louis, the Mooch, Eboli, and the brother of Colombo crime family Capo Pasquale, Patty Ryan, Eboli. He is the father of Genovese crime family mobster Thomas Eboli Jr. He is the father of Chicago outfit mobster Louis, the Mooch, Eboli, and Th bodyguard to Genovese in 1931. The murders of Giuseppe, Joe the Boss, Masseria and Salvatore Maranzano ended the bloody Castellamarese War among the New York gangs. Charlie, Lucky, Luciano, the preeminent mob boss of this era, created the commission, which consisted of all the heads of the 5 families of New York, the Chicago outfit, and representatives of other crime families. Luciano became the chairman of this commission. Eboli, who had been with Luciano since the beginning of the Prohibition, became the personal bodyguard for Luciano's underboss, Don Vito Genovese sometime in the early 1930s. Brother of Colombo crime family capo Pasquale, Patty Ryan, Eboli. Imprisonment of Luciano in 1936. After Luciano's imprisonment, his consigliere Frank Costello became acting boss of the family, much to Genovese's disappointment. Luciano was deported to Italy in 1946, and it soon became clear that Costello was the permanent boss of the Luciano crime family. In 1957, Genovese eventually organized a murder attempt on Costello. Costello was shot in the head, but survived and decided to retire from La Cosa Nostra that same year. Eboli soon turned capo regime of the new Genovese crime family, taking over the old Genovese crew in the late 1950s. In 1959, Genovese was arrested for drug trafficking and was sentenced to 15 years in prison, again shuffling the family leadership. Genovese's acting boss from 1959, Eboli was promoted to the acting boss position, with Jerry, Katina as underboss and Michelle, Big Mike, Miranda as consigliere, with Anthony, Tony Bender, Strallo as Eboli's top aide. At the same time, capo regime Philip, Benny Squint, Lombardo was to have a final say in things. These men were known as the Committee, ruling panel, and were in charge of the Genovese crime family throughout the 1950s, when toward the late 1960s, after the death of Vito Genovese, Eboli was made the one and only official acting boss. After the death of Genovese in 1969 and the indictment of Jerry, Katina in 1970, Eboli became the front boss of the Genovese family. Later that year, Eboli was listed as the official boss, or acting boss, as Philip, Benny Squint, Lombardo and Michelle, Big Mike, Miranda were really the ones in charge of the Genovese crime family, and Eboli just a cover for the authorities. As Eboli thought to be the new head of the Genovese crime family, he wanted to start a new drug trafficking operation, but borrowed $4 million from the commission chairman and head of the rival Gambino crime family, Carlo Gambino, to fund the operation. Eboli's downfall. Eboli continued as the front boss of the family for 2 more years. U.S. authorities arrested most of the Eboli crew, and shut down the $4 million drug operation during the early 1970s. Allegedly, Gambino crime family leaders Carlo Gambino and Paul Castellano came to get a refund only days later. Only one thing: Eboli didn't have the money to pay back Gambino. On July 16, 1972, around 1 a.m. Eboli was leaving the apartment of a girlfriend. Just as he reached his car, Eboli was shot 5 times and died immediately. No one was ever arrested for the murder of Tommy Ryan, Eboli. Gambino reportedly organized Eboli's murder so that Gambino's friend, Genovese capo regime Frank Funzi Thierry, could become boss of the Genovese crime family. Some even believe that the entire drug trafficking operation had been a setup by Carlo Gambino from day one.
What's good, everybody? So what do you think? They paved the way for Funzi Thierry to get in there to be the boss of the Genovese crime family. So I'm gonna be doing a lot more of these, but I'm gonna be the person telling you the story instead of the robot voice, and it could be a little more captivating. You know what I'm saying? But shout out to everybody that takes the time to watch my show. What's going on, Jack? How are you, Cindy? I appreciate everyone that takes the time. I got some people who are going to be coming on my show. They're older gentlemen, and they're going to be telling me stories about back in the day being around some of these people. And I want to get you guys the best stories I possibly can. We need a show like this. The lead mo. They read it off of Wikipedia. I don't know about anyone else, man. I really don't. What's going on, Everett? How was everyone's 4th of July? How were the fireworks? There was some major thunder and lightning going on. It was crazy. but they had I could hear them going off. Paul C, how are you, man? Shout out to everyone that takes the time to check in on my show. I really appreciate it. I got some great interviews coming up. He said Ramundi had me rolling, how he called out Nadu. Me too, man. He always has me rolling. He's a funny individual. Some people just take life way too serious sometimes, you know? I mean, I don't know. But I think he is hilariously funny. So what's everyone's plan this week? Is it does everyone have the work week off? Or what's going on? Are you guys at work right now? If you guys don't know, they found cocaine in the White House. You can't make this up. It says cocaine found in the White House. Snoop Dogg, Willie Nelson, etc. previously confessed to taking drugs there. The Secret Service is investigating how a mysterious package containing a small amount of powder, which is supposedly cocaine, made it into the White House. Its discovery Sunday prompted an elevated security alert and a brief evacuation of the executive mansion. President Biden was not at the White House, but his son was. Oh, man. He and the First Lady were at Camp David, and they didn't return until Tuesday morning for the 4th of July celebrations. Members of the D.C. Fire Department hazardous material team who were dispatched to perform preliminary analysis did find not to be a present threat. Package described to a radio dispatch that was picked up a yellow bar. They were doing their routine rounds and inspections of the building. It is now undergoing further tests to clarify what exactly it is. So here's they have a clip of Snoop Dogg admitting to doing drugs in the White House. You guys want to see that? Yeah, I'll play a clip of Snoop Dogg. I know, why would they have to evacuate it and everything? I think they just taken it a little bit overboard. It was hot yesterday. They said yesterday was the hottest day in recorded history. Do you believe that shit? Crazy. All right, let's watch Snoop Dogg talking about
one place you always wanted to smoke and you got a chance. You'll never think you'll smoke there and you got a chance to smoke.
The White House.
Where?
The White House.
No, but like which room?
The bathroom.
Nah, Snoop.
Come on, Heather B. You know we slick with it.
What happens? Paint the picture for me and everybody else.
Here, I'm gonna share this with you because you family.
All right.
So we at the White House, you understand me, for this celebration or whatnot for Herbie Hancock.
Mm-hmm.
So we had a little dinner, and I'm like, "Where the bathroom at?" Then like, "It's over there." So I'm like, "All right, cool." So I slide over in the bathroom. I look around, check the surroundings, make sure ain't no CIA around. Light up some tissue just to see if anything gonna happen. Tissue works. Boom. Next thing I do is pull that thing out my sock. I heard somebody coming. Put him out real quick and got on back to the party.
Nobody said a word.
Nobody. I hope it wasn't no cameras in there.
You know it was cameras in there.
Well, I hope it was cameras in there. I'd love to see myself on camera.
They'll play it back one day.
Hey, that's crazy. Well, he openly admitted to be doing smoking weed in the White House. Who knows what else they're doing in there? What's good, Buffalo Bill? How you doing, man? Well, let's see what else is going on out there. There's been some rappers getting busted. Um, So a man, 24 years old, was lost in the river rapids of Yosemite National Park on a hiking trip with friends. 10 dead, 38 wounded in 3 mass shootings ahead of the U.S. July 4th holiday. Crazy. Hopefully they can get a grip on this shit. It's really insane, the amount of casualties and shootings that are going on. And it seems like there's big trouble in France right now. They are going insane over there. They're tearing the streets up, rioting and everything else. What did you guys do this holiday weekend? What was you guys' plans? What did you guys watch fireworks? Would you puff weed in the White House if you could? I don't know, man. Who knows? It was probably the president's son, man. What kind of guns did you use to carry when you were in the game? Man, I've had all kinds of guns, man. My favorite gun was probably Snub Nose 357. Tech 9 was pretty cool. I had a Ruger, a 22 Ruger. That was one of my first guns. The first gun I ever had was a 25 semi-automatic. Bought it for $25, and but I don't mess with guns anymore. That's not the type of life I want to live. I'm trying to I do the right thing now. I stay away from that type of shit. But who knows? Maybe in the future I could get a pardon and clear my record, and who knows what the future holds. I'm not putting anything saying trolls are blaming Biden's son for the coke. It's like no people who know what's up. Hey, who knows who it was, man? It could have been anybody in there. A sheriff's vest with grenade launcher. Man, I used to be on some dumb shit back in the day. I spent my money on some real dumb shit. I bought a SWAT team outfit once. Stupid. Had the helmet and the goggles and shit, and I would just sit around playing video games and doing drugs. I was never in the crack business, man. I didn't sell drugs. I wasn't a drug dealer, bro. I was into stealing cars a lot back in the day. That was what I was into. And then I fell into the drug addiction bullshit and in and out of prison for a long time. But I've done some dumb shit, and I paid the price for it. And the reason why I'm on here is to show people and tell people that they don't have to keep living that type of life. You can change. It's not easy, but it's worth it. 100%. I would not go back for anything. A lot of people nowadays, I notice, they're running to that life that I was running away from. I was trying to get away from that life. A lot of people are running towards it. Did you used to steal cars, them chop them up? Yeah, I would sell them to people and they would chop them up. You lost all your guns in a boating accident? Man, I know some people who lost their guns all types of ways. I know one person who had a domestic with his girl, and they took all his guns. He had a whole bunch of really cool ones too. They took all his guns, and the cops must have been like, I want that one, I want that one, because he had like top of the line shit. So now once this restraining order got dropped, they kept all the guns. They never gave them back. And they told my friend that they were all destroyed. And they weren't. You know, they divvied up them guns amongst each other. And they can do things like that to you because they hold the power over you. Oh, the boating accident thing? Yeah, people used to ask me, where'd you get that? I'd be like, yeah, it fell off a truck, man. So I used to steal cars when I was young, right? Before I had a license and shit. And my brother, I was talking to my brother recently, and he's like, you remember that time that you rolled up on me with the stolen car? So my brother was leaving. He was driving down the street, right? I was driving up the street with the stolen car. I was probably like 13 at the time. So he's driving down, I'm driving up, and I see my brother. I'm all like, oh shit, it's my brother. So I put it in reverse and I gun it. Flying, right? I slam on the brake, whip the car around, and I start chasing my brother. I'm chasing him down the street, and I'm like beeping the horn and flashing the lights. He jumps out of the car with a fucking tire iron. And he runs up to the car. And did you say your dad was half Italian? No, my dad was full Italian, man. No, my dad didn't have no mob friends. My dad was 100% Italian. No, he didn't have mob friends. He was more into like motorcycles and shit like that. But yeah, fell off a truck. Your high school principal bought a gold chain off you? The fuck? How the hell did that come about? He just saw it on you and said, yo, let me buy that off you. That sounds crazy. I know he was sick about losing his collection that way. He was pissed. I got some stories I'm going to tell about my father. I had a police report from one of the times he was charged with attempted murder down in Sarasota, Florida. And I have the police report somewhere, and I could probably read it to you if I could find it. So in this police report, it says he used to live on a boat, right? So he went from Connecticut. He went out to Minnesota, or like the top of the Mississippi River. I think it starts in Minnesota somewhere. He went somewhere around that area, and he got a boat, and he would travel down the Mississippi River, up and down the river. He would go to the Gulf of Mexico and go to Florida, and he would just constantly do this shit, right? So he was down in Sarasota, Florida, on his boat. Louis the Lion, what's up, man? So he was in Sarasota Bay to be exact. And did your dad school you on how to do street stuff? Nah, he wasn't around when I was growing up. No. I went to prison at a young age, and I was in and out. And I was just on my own. I was in the streets hanging out with older people, and I just always wanted to be around the bullshit. So he's down in Sarasota. Some guy, it says in the police report that some guy stole something off his boat, right? So he went to the guy's boat while the guy was sleeping on like a rubber raft. He said he was on the rubber raft going, he went to the dude's boat and he crept up on the side. And it said he went to go see him and he had like a flare gun with a socket in it. And he had a real like bullet in the back. And he shot the guy in the leg. They were wrestling over the flare gun and he shot the guy in the leg. After he shot the guy, he jumped in the boat and paddled away. And the guy wrote a statement on him. And he went to jail. So they were investigating it, and there wasn't enough evidence for them to prosecute him. So they ended up dropping the charges. But I do have the police report. I got to find it. Maybe I'll read it to you guys one day. But he was in the newspaper quite a bit for being like a river type of dude traveling on the Mississippi River. There's a lot of different stories about it. But me, I was in the streets, going to prison, doing dumb shit. And I used to go out to Hartford a lot. We would go to New York City, New Britain, do all kinds of crazy shit. But that's not the type of life I live anymore. And I'm just trying to show my experiences so other people don't have to go through the same stuff that I went through. And I wouldn't change my life for anything. I really wouldn't. So how did you change to where you got into the mafia stuff? So once I got sober, I was like thinking like, damn, how can I like get content out there that people want to see so I can explain my story too. You know what I'm saying? So I always was interested in the mob, and there's a lot of mob influence, not where I live, but in my state. The Genovese crime family controls a lot of the garbage industry around here, and I've always been interested in it. So I was like, I'm gonna start a mob podcast, and so I started it, and it started building and building, and it's still building. I don't buy subscribers. Everything is 100% organic. And I try to bring you the best stories possible. Yeah, he wasn't there for me. No, that's probably why I ended up the way I did, you know? I think if I had a father figure growing up, I probably wouldn't have ended up in the streets like that. I don't know. I was looking for acceptance. I wanted to be, I wanted to be around people doing crazy shit. I figured, hey, I might as well live it up now. I'm not going to be around for long. That's how I thought when I was younger. But I don't think like that anymore. I enjoy life. Things are absolutely great. I'm going to start shooting my movie this weekend. Things are finally going to start happening. And I'm going to be bringing you guys some behind the scenes footage, you know? It's going to be good. That's hilarious, Jack. Yeah, your numbers are real. Some clown in Hootie's chat yesterday tried to say he built your channel. Probably a troll. That wolf guy who hates on you. Hey, who gives a shit, man? Let them hate. I don't give a fuck. They don't affect me. Not even a little bit, man. None of them. Bunch of losers. I don't fall for any of that bullshit, you know? Thanks, Lou the Lion. Appreciate that. Social media, I'm really doing positive things. That's how I thought back then. Hey, I mean, when I remember being in middle school, right? And I'm hanging out with kids that are in high school. And I'm drinking 40s with them and we're smoking weed. And I just thought I was cool. But I just wanted to be part of the group, basically. Yeah, do got a movie coming. Yeah, you could be an extra in the movie. Man walks on sidewalk. Man, I got some really good scenes that are going to be coming. You guys are going to, holy shit. And I'll show you guys some of it. I'll be dropping it probably next week sometime. A couple clips from it. But I am definitely going to start filming it this week. This weekend, 100%. I got the people in place. I got the locations. I got everything. It's going to be awesome. If anyone would like to donate to the show, I appreciate it. All the money goes right back into this. Sometimes I go to the shelter and buy toys for the kids if it's their birthday. If it's around that time and I got the means, I'll do that for them. If not, then hey, it is what it is. But around Christmas time, I bought a whole bunch of toys, right? And I told them that if there is kids that have birthday party, like a birthday coming up, then they can take some of the toys from Christmas if they didn't use them all. Because there was a lot of toys. And I don't think there was that many kids there, you know? Tony Pizza said a movie should be made out of him and said it should be a homeless documentary. And then he got mad and blocked me. Hey, man. So when he first jumped on the scene, right? If you guys don't notice, when these people first come on the scene, they always hit me up and they want to come on my show. All of them. Tony Pizza did it. FBS did it. All of them. They all try to come on my show. Sometimes I let them, sometimes I don't. Yeah, you can donate through PayPal, Cash App, Venmo, all that stuff. The links are in the description of this video or they're in the About section. I appreciate it. Every dollar goes right back into the program. It's muggy as hell outside right now. Thank God I got air conditioning. Hibernating here. Did you see Sammy Gravano said that he knew pizza? That's total bullshit. That's not true, man. He did not know Sammy Gravano. There's no possible way. Total bullshit. Because if you just go back and watch the first time that Sammy Gravano ever mentioned Tony Pizza, he makes no mention of ever knowing him. He knows him as a homeless person who kept bugging him for money and like for his time and shit. And he said he got really annoying. So the first time Sammy Gravano ever talked about Tony Pizza, he said he's straight up Homeless bum. I'd rather send it through there than Super Chat. They take 30%. He knows Sammy from Facebook. That's the only place he knows him from. Yeah, I definitely appreciate that. If you could send it through either Cash App, PayPal, Venmo. PayPal is Bill Staxx. BILLSTAXX. The truth. What's up, man? Staxx, is YouTube worth it? How much do you make per month on here? It's a few $100s. Few $100s a month. It's not, I mean, I enjoy doing this. It's not about the money to me. If it was about the money, I'd be gone a long time ago. You crazy? I just love doing this. I love bringing these stories out here, and it's worth it to me if I could reach people. Yeah, I stay away from all that drama, man. You do the drama BS like FBI. If you were chasing dollars or begging for super chats, nah, man. Is a few hundred from donations or accumulated views? It's from views, and so once you put a video out over time, you get views, and it builds and builds, and you put ads into the videos. You know, you don't oversaturate the videos with the ads. If you guys don't know, I help a lot of people monetize their channels, and that's pretty much what I do behind the scenes, is help people get monetized, and I get paid for it. So, what's up, Cerna? How you doing, man? Thanks for joining me today, man. Thank you for your service too. If people don't know, this dude is a true American hero. How have you been, man? Maureen, how are you? I think you have a certain percentage of followers be able to do lives unless you record your own show and upload it to YouTube. Listen, I think if you're really thinking about doing a show, do it. Do it. If you think you want to do it and you like have the inkling to do it, just do it. And who cares what people think? Just go and put out content, and put out things that interest you. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you need 1,000 subs to get monetized. It doesn't matter if you use a phone or a laptop. And then you sign up for the partner program to get paid. I don't know nothing about none of that shit, man. Antonio, I don't know nothing about it. No comment. I don't know any. Like, the only person I know there is Angel. Yo, that's right, man. I stay positive over here. I don't got time for any of that negative shit. My best friend really, big YouTube channel I grew up with, Joey B. Rules the World, I think it's called. Joey Borelli. He's a solid guy. That's dope, man. He does a lot of comedy stuff and interviews. I think it's dope that people can come on here and do content, real content, not coming on here complaining about other people or talking shit about people. Come on here and do real content. I think it takes a lot of trial and error. It took for me, you know. You gotta you learn who to deal with and who not to deal with. You learn who the scumbags are and who the people are that are there for you for real. And you find out all that. And you find out about the trolls and you try to move accordingly. You know what I'm saying? But if you're thinking about doing it, just do your content, keep putting stuff out, and don't worry about outside influences. You know what I'm saying? Just stay focused and keep pumping your content out. Yeah, his show is real content for sure. He gets millions of views on some stuff. I'm really surprised I don't get as more views than I do. But some of my videos do really good. Some of them don't. I mean, it is what it is. I know that my day is coming. 100%. I put the content out that people, other people try to mimic it. And it's funny. Like they get all giddy and shit. I'm the first to ever do it. No, you're not. Shout out to Gotti. Gotti was one of the first people I've ever interviewed from a prison cell. And that was in 2001. Staxx has always been consistent with his content. Hey, I try to be, man. And I'm going to stay consistent. I'm not going anywhere. I'm just getting started. It's just an algorithm, Staxx. That's what the views are not as big. But to do some current event stuff. That stuff's big at the time. Do some shorts on YouTube. Push you more, bro. Yeah, I'm going to do that, man. Team Gotti all the way. Staxx is the realest in the genre. Thank you, man. I appreciate that. I try not to bullshit. I try not just tell you the information that I got, and that's it, man. I'm not trying to be something I'm not, you know? I tried all that growing up. The whole time growing up, I tried to be something I wasn't. And it wasn't who I wanted to be. I didn't belong in prison with all those people. I didn't belong around all them. I should have been doing something positive back then. I would have been a lot further in life by now if I would have stayed on the right track back then. And I regret like not listening to people back then and not believing in myself. I thought I was a total loser. I thought I would never amount to shit. And I truly believed that back then. I don't believe that no more. They want to compete with TikTok and they don't really fuck with shorts. They push bad. These guys copy Staxx. Damn right they do. It's all good though, because I can make more content. I can innovate and do new shit. I could keep doing stuff, you know? They could reach after all my past guests and all that shit. It's all irrelevant because I'll just do better shit. It's all good. I don't pay no attention to anybody. I don't have any competition. My only competition is right here. I'm the only person that'll stop me from doing this. I cannot wait to show you the story that I created. I can't wait to see it in video form so I can show you guys. Even if I can just get a little bit of it to show you. I'll definitely have something for you by next week. Hey, listen, I interview some informants too, but the difference is the people that I interview, they usually have remorse. They're not the type to be like trying to show people how tough they are. No one gives a fuck. If you were facing life in prison, what reason would you have to come on the internet and fucking rub it in people's faces? Why? Why wouldn't you just be like, I got away with that. Let me try to enjoy my life. You want to know why? Because they didn't change. That's why. But it's all good. None of my business. Do you believe Nadu was fired from Barstool Sports? I believe that he wanted more money. He wanted $200,000 a year. And they said, you ain't worth that. Get the fuck out of here. We'll let you out of your contract. And he said, fine, I'll just get out of my contract then. And that's what happened. Basically, he can't go back if he wanted to. So call it being fired, call it being quit. I don't know. He couldn't go back if he wanted to. I know that. So either way, none of my business. That's just my opinion. I think he made a grave mistake by doing that. He knows he did too. But it's all good. If he believes in himself that much, then hey. If you guys didn't see Mugshot Monday, go check it out. It was pretty good. It features this chick. Why you would get that is beyond me. I don't know. Definitely 100% it's buying views. 100%, man. Thank you, Louis the Lion. I think they do is buying views to try to get better contract on. No, he got caught up in the bullshit, man. I think 100% he's buying views, buying subscribers and views. That hurts you in the long run. It hurts everything about the algorithm if you buy views and shit. I don't do that, and I've never done it, and I won't do it. Another thing, you probably won't believe me, but I've never paid not $1, not 1 cent for an interview. Have not paid $1 for an interview. I was gonna pay for an interview, but it was a huge one. But I never paid for an interview. But shout out to everybody who has appeared on my show. I really appreciate them taking their time. I've interviewed some pretty big people. If you go back and look at my catalog, it's huge. I really appreciate that donation, man. Thank you. Down neck, how are you? Maureen, what's up? How were your 4th of July? Did you guys watch fireworks and all that good stuff? Biggest phony on YouTube. I'd say Sammy the Bull. Biggest bullshitter out there, Mr. Sammy the Bull. I really wish he would come on my show. I can ask him about 5 questions, straight devastate his whole character. I really wish he would come on the show. I've asked him. I was close, but he won't do it. He wants he wants the questions to be predetermined. He wants to know what you're going to ask him. Certain people just won't face the questioning. But I'm going to ask him the real questions if he ever would. A lot of people say that A-Light is I want to ask him questions, man. I want to ask him some questions. A-Light too, I want to ask him questions. Because one thing about A-Light you can't take away from is he was around Junior. He was. And he was around him for a certain amount of time. I just have some questions. That's it. But Junior and the family must have liked him at one point, right? Because he's in a whole bunch of pictures with the family walking out of places and this and that. So he was cool with them at one point. He must have been. But I don't know. I really wish Sammy would have came on. It would have been a good one. Because I had some really good questions for him. And he would have had no choice but to lie about it. He was around him, but he never did 95% of what he said he did. That's why I want to ask him some questions. On TV, YouTube TV. I checked my New York fireworks. I think it's called Macy's in NY fireworks. So you interviewed Kenji Gallo. Yep, I interviewed him. He was one of the first interviews I did a long time ago. I don't think it's up anymore. I don't know if the interview's still there, but yeah, I've interviewed him. It might be on private, but I'll put it on members. How about that? I'll put that interview with Kenji Gallo on members only right after I'm done with this interview. What's the worst bug bite you ever got? What do you mean? Worst bug bite? What does that mean, man? I got bit by a spider once. Thank you, Louie, man. I appreciate that. Keep spreading the positive vibes that you do because you're a star. As I said, much love and respect from Louie Lyons. Thank you, man. I remember that interview. Yeah, I haven't seen it in a while. I forgot I even did that interview. I was trying to remember that dude's name the other day. I was like, what the hell's his name? That's right, Kenji Gallo. He cooperated with authorities. And I interviewed him. But I'm not in the streets. I'm not trying to be a gangster. I don't want no parts of that. I'm a fucking journalist now. I am trying to bring you people's stories, and that's it. If you don't like them or their stories, start your own podcast and interview your own guests. You know what I'm saying? Let me see. I got another short video I could play for you guys. And I'll be right back. Here, check this out.
Original name Meyer Scisciano, born July 4, 1902, officially assigned date by U.S. authorities, Grodno, also spelled Grodna, Russian Empire, now in Belarus, died January 15, 1983, Miami Beach, Florida, U.S., one of the most powerful and richest of U.S. crime syndicate chiefs and bankers. He had major interests in gambling, especially in Florida, pre-Castro Cuba, Las Vegas, and the Bahamas. A Polish Jew born in the Russian Pale of Settlement, Lansky immigrated with his parents to New York's Lower East Side in 1911. By 1918 he and the American gangster Bugsy Siegel were running a floating crap game and then graduated into highly lucrative auto theft and resale. In the course of the 1920s, Lansky's gang branched into burglaries, liquor smuggling, and other rackets and came under the aegis of crime boss Giuseppe Masseria. Lansky and Siegel had also developed a squad of professional murderers for hire, the prototype for the later Murder Incorporated, headed by Louis Buchalter and Albert Anastasia. Lansky became a naturalized citizen in 1928. It was allegedly Lansky who persuaded the Italian-born crime boss Lucky Luciano to have Masseria assassinated in 1931 and provided Siegel's services for that purpose, making the four-man hit team representative of the major New York crime factions. Between 1932 and 1934, Lansky joined Luciano and the American gangster Johnny Torrio, among others, in forming the National Crime Syndicate and became one of its major overseers and bankers, often laundering funds through foreign accounts. By 1936, Lansky had begun to develop gambling operations in Florida and New Orleans and also in Cuba, where he arranged payoffs to Cuban dictator Fulgencio Batista. He also financed Siegel's casino developments in Las Vegas, and ordered Siegel's execution.
Bam! So I got a lot of those lined up, but I'm going to start narrating them myself because I'm like, damn, why am I using this computer voice? I should just do them myself, and I'll narrate them all myself. I'll record them, and then I'll be putting them out. If you guys have any suggestions of shows you want me to cover, just put them in the description, put them in the comment section. If you got any ideas for future shows, I appreciate the input. But I definitely appreciate all of you guys, and I'll be back on later tonight. I got another show lined up. But hit the like button, subscribe, hit the notification bell. May the 4th. Thank you, Louis Lyons. Phil, what's up, man? Philly Phil, how you doing? I'm just about to get off here, bro. Hit me up, Phil. I'll probably be down in Philly in about a month, man. But I appreciate all of you guys. Have a safe week, and I'll see you guys tonight. Hit the like, subscribe, and notification bell so you can get my videos every time they drop. I know it's too hot out there, bro. That's why you got to stay with the AC, man. Fuck all that hot shit. Staxx, where's the best place you've ever hooked up with a chick? I don't know, man. Parking garage, probably. Pretty, daring. Parking garage when I was in rehab. We look up and there's fucking camera. Like, fuck. But I hope you guys like this content. If you like it, hit the like, subscribe, notification bell so you can get my videos every time they drop. And if you don't like it, start your own fucking podcast. And remember, don't be a bitch.